So I got a little story to tell you now. I got a friend of mine, he's a very successful businessman in California, and last year he decided that he would, in fact, go to Europe with his family. He'd never been to Europe before with his family, and that they should travel through Europe on the train, because that would be a more European and elegant way of actually travelling through Europe. And his kids said, well, Dad, you know, we're big fans of Harry Potter, and you've never really had the time to read Harry Potter to us, and we think it's about time that you got engaged with Harry Potter. So he decided that he'd be a postmodern man, in fact, I would say. And that, in fact, he would load all the Harry Potter stories onto his iPod, and he would travel through Europe, looking at these elegant and beautiful cities, listening to the wonderful stories of Harry Potter. And at the end of the week, he's having breakfast with his kids at the breakfast table, and he says, do you know what? I don't really understand this Harry Potter thing. The plot's all over the place. The characters come and go. You know, what are you telling me? I don't really understand this. So his kids take his iPod to see that actually he's had it on shuffle for the whole week. And this kind of leads me to actually quite an important point, which in fact Rupert Murdoch in 2006 gave a speech to the Association of Newspaper Editors in America, and he said, I'm a digital immigrant, whereas actually my children and my grandchildren are digital natives. He said, I grew up in a world where information was highly controlled by a small group of proprietors who decided what I could or should know. Whereas actually my kids are not waiting for a newspaper to arrive in the morning to tell them what's the most important news. They're not waiting for someone from above to tell me what I could or should know. And if I take the religion analogy a little bit further, I certainly don't want information presented as gospel. Which leads us on to the next point. That in fact networks, which are economic, cultural and media, are in fact becoming the nervous system of the society that we are living in. It actually suggests that we're kind of evolving from a sort of a linear world, a world that we had a different type of logic, a way of making business and a way of making money, to a world that's actually more complex, it's more networked, and actually mimics the beauty and the complexity of nature. Our media world, the world that we are all living in here today, in this room, isn't about content, and it's not about distribution. It is in fact about people. It's about connections, and it's about social networks.
Right on!
So actually when we think that traffic in internet, peer-to-peer flows of communications are actually 2 to 10 times greater than all other web traffic. So that it's also a lot of rich information, what people are doing, what they are interested, what are their connections. And then other important part is what is happening in media and broadcasting. 25% of all entertainment will be made by us in 2012. So that it is not only anymore big media companies who are broadcasting something, but all of us can also create content and share content to other people. And what is really important when we talk about marketing and advertising is that 65 to 70% of all purchase decisions are made by word of mouth advocacy. So that it's really important what people talk to each other.
As a consequence of that, in a network world, we do all leave a digital footprint. And understanding and interpreting that footprint transforms what I would call the marketing capability. The analog world does not have the ability actually to compete in the digital world. Now, there are many, many vested interests that actually would rather actually not have the capability to be accountable, to actually be able to deliver things in a way that we can do in a completely different way. But this is the journey that all of us are on in this room. And as a consequence of that, I think we need to think about how we count the audience in a network world. Nielsen deals with CPMs and it deals with GRPs. Whereas with Xtract, we can count every single individual within a network, and we can understand how that individual thinks and behaves and how that individual is connected within that network. Now, some of you may feel that's a slightly uncomfortable statement. I would say this, that people need brands and brands need people. The wonderful thing that we can do is to bring brands and people together at a point where they need each other the most. And that is why what I would call is what Xtract does is social marketing intelligence. The ability to deliver the right audience to the right commercial message at the right time. And as a consequence of that, and this is what Pekka Pietila was talking about today, is the word currency. Communication can have a different level of currency when the information that we're receiving is seen to be valuable to us.
So, when we talk about marketing and advertising in the future, that is timely, relevant and contextual, so that you really must know what you are doing and to whom you market and advertise. And we have a lot of success stories that how we can see in real life how marketing and advertising can be more effective by using our tools. So that we have, for example, that in mobile advertising, the average ad price was 82% higher when the media company was able to offer very targeted and profiled audiences. And we have also examples that how by using social marketing intelligence, the product marketing was 90% more effective and customer loyalty was much higher. And that's why we call that social marketing intelligence is the black hole of the 21st century. And Steve Ballmer from Microsoft has said that by 2015 all advertising will be digital. And traditional media companies are now searching for effective advertising and marketing solutions for this new digital age. And that's why we see that Xtract is the missing link in the revolution of marketing and advertising in this new world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.